Number 7. I'm Brandon Domain with 2009 champion Tanya Wagner, and it has been a very, very crazy past couple days here in Carson, California, and a leaderboard that some might not have expected, with the name up top being Cara Webb by just 7 points over Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet, a name many people did expect, and another name people expected, Julie Fouché, rounding out the top 3, but a big gap between the top 2 and Julie Fouché in 3rd.
Well, Brandon, if history repeats itself, this is the day that movements happen. This is the day when people are going to make their move to come to the top or fall below. This is the day of it. So I'm expecting to see some shifting on the leaderboard. Don't expect to see those names at the top, at the very top, all the way through.
And the first chance today for these athletes to shake up the leaderboard will occur with the Muscle Up Biathlon.
Here's the event that they're starting out with for today. The women will do a 400-meter run, followed by 18 muscle-ups. Then 400-meter run by 15 muscle-ups, 400-meter run, and 12 muscle-ups. Now, here's the cool thing. First time we're ever seeing there's a penalty. If the women have to break up those muscle-ups, there's a 200-meter penalty run that they're going to have to complete before going back to the rings.
Actually, we've been delayed a 1 minute wait here just added. So we'll have a little bit of time to discuss this. It's an interesting heat as well for heat number 1. 10 rookies and the 14 athletes included in this, but some of the names in this heat: Talayna Fortunato, 2 top 5s in her 2 appearances in the CrossFit Games in 2012 and 2013. Gretchen Kittelberger, another of the big name athletes, in the back of the pack through 2 days of competition.
And you know, for Gretchen being in the back of the pack right now, Brandon, this is her event right now. This is going to be where she's going to excel. And you know, there's going to be 2 different strategies to this event. If you have your muscle-ups and you're strong with muscle-up stamina, you're going to attack this much differently than the women that are nervous about muscle-ups, that muscle-ups go away pretty quickly. Gretchen Kittelberger, she's an ex-gymnast from the University of Maryland. One of her partners actually on the gymnastics team is with her side by side, Rachel Martinez.
And away we go. This will start off with 1 lap around the soccer field here at the StubHub Center in Carson, California. You might not see any blazing fast times on this first run.
No, this first run is going to be about 1:45, 2 minutes. The women just need to get back to their rings. And you can see they all started in their lane, and they will finish in their lane so that they each complete that 400-meter at even distance. And it's not about the run. This workout really all comes down to muscle-ups and being smart. So as an athlete, you have to know yourself, know your abilities. If you don't have and you can't string together a lot of muscle-ups, don't expect to do so today. So really, it's the name of the game is knowing the chunks that you're going to do and going out with a plan and then seeing how you feel and being able to, you know, change on the fly or execute that plan depending how you feel when you're actually out there.
And how about this for a twist on the quarter-mile run? Not just around the soccer field itself, but going up over the berm, climbing up the stairs over that slight incline hill, then all the way back down, just to tax you a little bit more. A day after they did 3 miles after a 3,000-meter row and 300 double unders.
You know, they're probably thinking this is not too bad if they think back to yesterday. So really, their mind's going to be set right now on what they're going to do back at the rings and how they're going to be, you know, how they're going to be attacking that. The thing is, with the running, you can go too fast, and if you're in a little deficit and you're breathing hard, it's the last thing you want when you get to the rings. That's why we're going to see the little calmer pace here, and I'm anxious to see what the women choose to do on their 200-meter runs when they do have to break, how hard they're going to push those. So anxious to see who gets started, who attacks right away out of the gates, and who's going to hold on, or who's going to choose to break early and reserve it for that last round of 12.
This event, almost a wild card event with how much strategy goes into it. It's just going to be a bevy of different ways to attack it. We're about to find out how these athletes will do so as they now approach the that monstrous mega rig from Rogue in the middle of the field.
And it's such a cool feeling out here when they're at the top of that berm and just being here in the soccer stadium, huge stadium, is a massive rig. We've never seen a rig this big from Rogue. So really cool for the athletes to be out there and just to soak this in, that they're really here. And it really is day 2 or day 3, however you want to look at it, but they're well underway here at their games.
Technically day 3, officially day number 2 here in Carson, as the twists always come as the first athletes now jumping up onto the rings. And once they do so, if they fall off, they do have that 200-meter penalty.
And the muscle up is one of those movements where you cannot go to failure. Smart athletes will break before failure to conserve, because there's a lot to be done here.
Sheila Barden, one of the 10 rookies in this heat. Your current leader, she's through 6. Margaux Alvarez not far behind. Neither is Amanda Schwartz. They are 1 rep back at 6, and we do have an athlete dropping off for the first time, and it is Margaux Alvarez.
And for Margaux, that was a planned break right there. You know, Margaux's coming in with that broken rib, first rib, so she's going to need to be smart, because I'm sure there's a lot of compensation going on in that pec. So she wants to make sure that she's smart and can last through this whole workout.
2 athletes looking very, very strong. Sheila Barden and Amanda Schwartz, and now Barden coming off the rings, as does Schwartz. After 13 reps, they have 5 remaining after their penalty run.
And here at the top of our list, you know, seeing who's in first place, I'm not surprised. We have Sheila Barden, Talayna Fortunato, and Amanda Schwartz. These are all women who have told us they like muscle ups. They love the muscle up. That is one of their strengths, especially for Talayna. You know, she doesn't want to run more than she has to on that quad, so she's really going to need to be smart how she breaks up these muscle ups.
Talayna Fortunato mentioning that she just wanted to stay away from squats on day number 3 of competition to protect that injured leg as best as she could, and why not spend some time on the rings, get off the leg completely.
Yeah, for sure.
Alvarez, the first one that ran a penalty lap, is the first one back onto the rings, trying to complete her set.
And this is Margaux Alvarez's second year at the CrossFit Games. She's able to kind of settle in and relax a little bit. And especially in this first heat, you know, being with a little bit of a slower heat that we expect, but not necessarily when you think about who's in this heat as far as the gymnasts go. She's setting a good pace from the start.
Sheila Barden, 1 rep away. She does get her 18th rep and will be the first one through round number 1 of the Muscle Up Biathlon.
And remember, every set after this first will get harder. You know, these are not the kind of movement that you just shake it out and it's back to it and no big deal. This is a very high-skilled gymnastic movement. It requires a lot of control, a lot of focus, and it is one of those skills that you can only do it if you've practiced and you have it. You're going to see the girls going to utilize that big kip so that they can get through the muscle up without using the most amount of energy or using the least amount of energy.
Sheila Barden working her way up the stairs in yellow, and quite an athletic background for her. Actually, the defensive team captain on her middle school football team. She was a linebacker at 98 pounds.
And I saw the girl, she is strong. She is all upper body. You know, just when you look at her bio, I can tell why she likes muscle ups and why this event is going so well for her.
Barden, the first one that will come up to the berm for the second time. Nothing too taxing on this quarter-mile run, but it's got to be just annoying to have to go uphill after everything that they've done thus far.
Well, she's put a lot of training in. She gets her work ethic from working on in her family's business. She does not settle for mediocrity, and I'm going to tell you, for her, that hill's nothing, Brandon. She's used to training a lot harder than that. But always good to see rookies have a good event, get their name out there. It gives them the confidence that they need to move on with the weekend, and this is going to be a really good event if she can maintain this all the way through the 3 rounds.
Barden will reach the stairs back down to the field here at the StubHub Center Soccer Stadium. For the first time, she'll be the leader with a set of 15 muscle-ups awaiting her in about 100 meters. The chase going on behind her, 3 athletes closing in. Amanda Schwartz was the second one to complete her set of 18 muscle-ups. She will be in that group along with Margaux Alvarez.
And there is a lot of running. I mean, when you look at this and you think about, everybody saw that number of muscle-ups and they thought, wow, that's just a lot of muscle-ups. But a lot of the time is spent running, and that is on purpose. These girls have to do that, but it really, for some of them, are they going to break too often and be just running so much of the time that they're not going to have time to finish? Really going to be interesting to see what their coaches' strategies were and if they're going to execute those strategies so that they really can finish this workout in the 18-minute time cap.
That time cap about 10.5 minutes away. The reps do get lower every round. It's now 15 as Sheila Barden goes to the rings for the second time.
And this is her set of 15. Anxious to see if she's going to break here at 8 and 7 or go 5-5-5, which is a typical place where you break.
It was 13 and 5 on the first set.
She's using that nice fallback just to get that momentum into the next one. Really
Very
nice, looks
fluid.
controlled.
Five for Barden, and she's going to keep going, looking to maybe get more than halfway on this set.
And she's looking like she's slowing down a bit. I'd love to see her get one more. She does too. You want to get over that halfway point, but that was a little more of a fight than I'd like to see. Little concern for her next set of 7. Brandon, now this is where the interesting thing happens. If she comes back and can only complete 6 of those 7, that is an awful penalty for the 200 meters to just come back for 1. So here's where she's thinking about it. Do I go 4 and 3? How do I attack this next set when I get back to the rings?
Amanda Schwartz also getting 8 on her set and is actually slightly ahead of Sheila Barden because of the way that they are positioned on the rig as they go through this penalty lap. But when you look at that interval, it's really about the same that they have in between their lanes on the rings.
It's just about that chip timing and where those points are on the field.
Talayna Fortunato, while Barden and Schwartz went 8 of their 15, Fortunato gets 9 of 15, just 6 awaiting her.
And Fortunato, nicknamed the Spider Monkey, she loves to be up there on the rings, on the pull-up bar. She's very good at the pulling movements, and you know she's going to be watching and seeing where she can chip away and hold on out there. She's very strong and is able to hold on. It's what got her the 3rd place 2 years ago at the CrossFit Games, being able to hold on and edge out Kristen Clever.
Barden approaching the rings for her second crack at this set of 15 muscle-ups. She needs 7 to complete it. Fortunato, your clubhouse leader at this point, if you want to use that term, she only needs 6 remaining.
And for Fortunato, she doesn't even know what's in store for her for the rest of the day. You know, only knows some of the movements, or some of the events. She really needs to capitalize on the events that are made for her.
And Barden dropping once again. It looks like she has 3 reps remaining.
Now again, very interesting. You know, when she comes back, I think that was a really smart move. Don't push it. You still have a whole nother round of 12 to go, and if you know how you feel. But here's Talayna. We'll see what she does because this could be a big deal for her.
We watched Talayna, but just to the side of her is Amanda Schwartz continuing her set.
She's looking really strong. And it's going to be smart to rest at the top of the rings. You don't want to hang. It's going to tax the grip. If you can rest while you're just locked out at the top, that's going to be the way to go.
Fortunato completes her set of 15, now trying to chase down Amanda Schwartz, who was the first one to complete 15. She went 8 and 7, just like Barden, your early leader, was attempting to do.
But here's where the movement takes place, Brandon, because that is huge. Not having to do that extra 200 meter is gaining, 45 seconds to a minute for Talayna Fortunato to continue on to the next round. Very impressive.
Schwartz, the Australian, now competing out of the South Central region in Tyler, Texas's premier CrossFit, currently sitting 29th after 2 days of competition and leading here in event number 7. And we're seeing the athletes now walking up the steps, saving as much energy as they can, but they only have 6.5 minutes as Schwartz with a few steps of a lead on Talayna Fortunato, who's now going to pick up a jog and go on the outside of the steps to go around and take the lead for the first time in this event.
And these athletes know themselves. They know how much time they need. Talayna's really strong on their muscle ups, feels strong, and it looks like her quad's doing okay because she's the one choosing to jog first.
Despite that quad injury, Talayna Fortunato 4th in sprint sled 2, the second of those 100-yard dashes with that sprint sled, doing so in just 66 seconds. So she's got that gutty performance in her, trying to recreate that and complete another top 5 finish, perhaps an event win, which would be just the 4th of her CrossFit Games career. Only 3 athletes thus far have completed the set of 15 muscle-ups and are working on their 3rd 400-meter run, as Sheila Barden did come back after her penalty lap to complete number 15. Barden a good 100 meters behind her 2 leaders, Fortunato and Schwartz.
And it's hot out there. I mean, there's a little bit of shade when you're under the rings, not terribly much, but I'll tell you, up on that berm, the sun is beating hot. I jogged around just to get here to the booth, and I was drenched. So these ladies have been out there now working for 13 minutes, and it is hot. So that's why you're seeing some conserving of energy on the stairs. It's really important to stay fresh. A lot of the ladies are shaking their arms out. You don't want to hold your arms up at 90 degrees and tax your biceps any more than you need to. Shake your arms out, shake that grip out, because that's really the only thing that matters when you're up there on the rings.
It was about a 200-meter walk for both of your leaders, Fortunato and Schwartz, and now it's a jog over to the road rig for the final set of 12 muscle-ups. 4.5 minutes remain until the 18-minute time cap.
Talayna is one of those athletes that really does well when she's in the lead. She really feeds off of the crowd's energy and adrenaline, so she's using that right now. She wants to stay ahead. She passed. There's always, you get that little burst of energy when you pass an athlete. She's using that right now. Want to see how she attacks this first set now of her 12s. Did she save enough? Did she keep enough in the tank? Could she go unbroken right here? That would be huge.
Quarter of the way through for Fortunato. See if she tries to get 1 past halfway or perhaps 2 past halfway as she did 1 set ago.
She looks nice and strong. If you are going to break, and you know you are, it's always good to get over that halfway point so you come back for less. Oh,
and unable to get the 7th, so that puts her at 6. She'll have to do a 200-meter lap once again and try to match that number that she came up just short of getting last set. Schwartz also with 6 of 12 complete. So they're both in the same situation where they might have to do yet another of these max muscle-up sets.
And now this is it now, Brandon. So, you know, for Talayna, you could see that she was kind of pausing, getting a little slower there in each muscle-up. She was thinking, do I come down or do I not? That wasted effort on that no rep was huge for her. So I really hope she's able to get right back up there.
It's a slow jog on this 200-meter penalty lap. Fortunato onto the right side, Schwartz on the left.
And with just 3 minutes left, these ladies will finish.
Now, while they are side by side, keep in mind that Fortunato's lane is a little bit closer to the end of this lap, so she does have a bit larger of an interval than it appears right now.
I don't like to see her holding her arms so high up. I'd rather she was shaking those out right now. She's holding them really close to her body at that 90 degrees, which still is a little taxing.
Now, if she doesn't, if Schwartz or Fortunato don't get this set of 6, they are in danger of not beating the time cap. They would then fall to a 1 second per rep penalty added onto that 18 minutes, as we have just 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining.
And there's no rush to jump up there. Really, it's just when you're ready, make sure you're ready to go. But there's no rush to jump up on those rings.
Sheila Barden, just like Fortunato and Schwartz, currently in 3rd. She's on her 200-meter lap after doing 6 of 12. So all these athletes trying to get past the halfway point, but unable to do so. Fortunato, the first one to make the move. 2 reps remaining. And Fortunato comes down, and with 90 seconds left, she's going to have to move if she wants to complete this. Amanda Schwartz still moving.
And she's going for it. Oh!
Unable to do it, but look out for Sheila Barden, still on the rings. She comes down. Sheila Barden loses the lead entering the final round, but the rookie out of New Jersey is going to cross the line first in heat number 1.
Really strong performance by the rookie. She played that right. She broke up early, broke her sets up early, and she was able to hold on at the end when it really mattered, when the other ladies were falling off with just 1, 2 reps to go. Really smart, well executed for Sheila Barden.
Just 1 muscle up remains for Fortunato and Schwartz. They have to finish up this 200-meter penalty lap. Fortunato with about 40 meters until she can go back to her lane. 30 seconds remain. We may only see Barden be the one that completes this event. Fortunato to the rings. She needs 1 rep and needs it quickly with 20 seconds left. She is up and over at extension, and now the sprint to the end zone. And you can see the effects of that injured quad bothering her. With 10 seconds left, she will make it across in time, but just barely at 17:54. Schwartz completes, but will be unable to complete that sprint to the finish line, so she will be time capped by just 1 second.
And with Schwartz and Barden both coming in with a muscle up max of 17, you can see that Barden just executed that perfectly for her, broke them up smart, so she was able to finish with the time to beat now. Only one of 2 to finish, while Schwartz was left just sprinting and just couldn't make it.
We spoke about the strategy early on, and Sheila Barden wins this game of chess in the Muscle Up Biathlon heat number 1 of 3. And doing so in pretty impressive fashion, nearly a minute faster than the only other woman to finish, Talayna Fortunato.
And here she is, was really smart, was out to the lead in the beginning. She had some breaks at the muscle ups, which set her behind, but they were smart. She chose where to break up the muscle ups so that at the end, she was able to capitalize on holding onto those rings for the final set, which set her apart and had her take this event in this heat.
So after 1 of 3 heats, it is Sheila Barden that will be your current event leader with just 2 heats remaining. Of course, that time could be under siege from some of the athletes we'll see later on, but the moment is all for Sheila Barden, the rookie out of Totowa, New Jersey. After just 2 regional appearances, finally getting to the games and making the most of it here to start off day number 3 of competition at the StubHub Center.
And so far, this is her biggest, most memorable moment here at the games for her, and very exciting. She's going to ride on that for the rest of the day.
No real competitive background aside from middle school sports. She said that she wasn't very athletic in college, but Barden, a gym rat, as she described herself. Your Event 7 Heat 1 winner, she's on the field with Amanda Krenz.
Sheila, how hard was it to string those muscle ups together?
I think the set of 15 was definitely the most mentally tough. Unfortunately for me, I'm one of the shorter athletes, so I had to kind of jump sideways, so I had to hang for a while to stabilize. Once I was able to stabilize, it wasn't too bad to string them together. It was just mentally knowing where I was at and knowing that I needed to stop before failure, which unfortunately I didn't do in that first round.
When you're on that penalty run, what's going through your head to prepare yourself to get back on those rings?
Relax your shoulders and just be ready to go. Don't walk at any point. Know that you can go at a pace that you're moving the whole time. Get to your rings and go. Don't rest and stare at them, because now it's even more in your head, like, oh my God, I have to get back on it. Just like the ocean. Oh my God, I have to get back in the ocean. Just dive in head first.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you.
Sheila Barden blowing a kiss to the camera and walking off the field with the event lead after 1 heat. I'm Sean Woodland alongside 2009 CrossFit Games champion Tanya Wagner. Barden and Fortunato, the only 2 women to get in